The Galactic Academy's Advanced Xenobiology lecture hall fell into absolute silence as the creature materialized in the center aisle. 7 feet of chitinous nightmare, the Vorthak assassin's razor-sharp mandibles clicked menacingly as its 6 compound eyes scanned the terrified students. Poison dripped from barbed appendages that could slice through starship hull plating. Every being in the room knew what they were looking at. Vorthaks were the galaxy's most feared killers, bioweapons bred by the extinct Kethmori Empire, programmed for one purpose: eliminate all sentient life they encountered. This one had somehow bypassed the Academy's shields, its stealth implants shimmering as they deactivated. Professor Zektar, a normally composed Altarian, stumbled backward, his blue skin paling to translucent white. "Evacuation protocol," he stammered. But the words died in his throat as the Vorthak's head swiveled toward him with predatory precision. Students began to panic. The crystalline Velthari in the front row shattered into defensive shards. 3 Graxian exchange students activated their natural camouflage and vanished, the air filled with the acrid scent of fear pheromones from a dozen different species. But from the back corner of the lecture hall came an unexpected sound that made every head turn. Laughter. Not hysterical screaming or terror-induced madness, genuine, delighted laughter. Riza Chen, the only human in the advanced xenobiology program, was doubled over in her seat, tears streaming down her face as she pointed at the deadly assassin. Her dark hair fell across her shoulders as she shook with mirth, completely ignoring the fact that she was in the presence of the galaxy's most efficient killing machine. "Oh my God," she gasped between giggles. "It's like a praying mantis had a baby with a scorpion. That's actually adorable." The Vorthak froze. In its 3 centuries of existence across 17 different star systems, through countless successful terminations, it had never encountered this response. Its primitive AI brain struggled to process the contradiction, prey that showed no fear. Anna, Riza's roommate and study partner, a delicate butterfly-winged Silathi, tugged frantically at her friend's sleeve. "Riza," she whispered in panic, her gossamer wings fluttering so rapidly they became a blur. "That's a Vorthak. It's going to kill us all." "I know what it is," Riza said, wiping her eyes as she stood up. To everyone's horror, she started walking down the aisle toward the creature. "But look at those little antenna things twitching. And the way it's tilting its head, it's confused. Just like my cat when I brought home that robotic vacuum." The Vorthak's combat protocols screamed warnings. Every instinct told it to strike, to fulfill its programming. But something was wrong. This small, soft creature approaching it registered as prey. Yet it displayed none of the fear responses that triggered its killing sequences. Instead, it radiated something the assassin's limited emotional sensors couldn't identify: genuine affection. "Stay back, Miss Chen," Professor Zektar called out, his voice cracking. "Vorthaks are programmed to kill anything that shows fear or aggression," Riza finished, now standing just 10 feet from the creature. "I did my senior thesis on Kethmori bioweapons, remember? Their neural programming is actually pretty simple. They're like very deadly, very advanced insects." She addressed the Vorthak directly, her voice taking on the same tone she used with stray animals back on Earth. "Hey there, big guy. You're pretty confused right now, aren't you? Your programming doesn't know what to do with me because I'm not afraid of you." The assassin's mandibles clicked uncertainly. 300 years of successful kills, and it had never encountered prey that tried to communicate with it as an equal. "Riza, please," Anna whispered from her seat, her wing beats creating tiny whirlwinds of terror-shed pollen. "It doesn't matter what you say. It's going to kill you." But Riza was already reaching into her backpack. The movement should have triggered an immediate strike, but the Vorthak remained frozen, watching with alien fascination as she pulled out a nutrition bar. "You're probably hungry," she said conversationally, breaking off a piece and tossing it at the creature's feet. "When's the last time someone fed you instead of running away screaming?" The Vorthak's head tilted further, an almost bird-like gesture that would have been endearing if not for the dripping venom and razor-sharp claws. Its primitive sensors detected no deception, no hidden weapons, no trap. Just a strange, small being offering it sustenance. Professor Zektar activated his emergency communicator with trembling fingers. "Security to Lecture Hall 7. We have a code black situation with a Vorthak assassin and a suicidal human student." "Actually," Riza said cheerfully, I think we have something much more interesting. She sat down cross-legged on the floor, maintaining eye contact with the creature. You know what I think happened here? I think our friend here isn't a rogue assassin. I think it's been alone for a very long time, wandering the galaxy after the Kethmori Empire fell. And today it detected life signs from our academy and came to investigate. The Vorthak made a sound that might have been agreement, a low thrumming vibration that resonated through the lecture hall. It's not hunting us, Riza continued, her voice filled with wonder. It's looking for purpose, for connection. The Kethmori programmed them to eliminate life, but they also gave them enough intelligence to learn and adapt. This one has been alone for centuries, watching civilizations from the shadows, probably wondering why it exists. Anna's wing beats slowed as she processed this. You think it's lonely? I think it's the loneliest creature in the galaxy, Riza said softly. And I think today, for the first time in its existence, someone isn't afraid of it. The Vorthak took a tentative step forward, then another. When it reached Riza, it lowered its massive head until they were at eye level. Up close, she could see something that made her heart ache. Intelligence in those compound eyes, and beneath the alien features, something unmistakably like hope. There you go, she whispered, slowly extending her hand. I'm Riza, and I'm very pleased to meet you. When security finally arrived, they found the lecture hall in chaos, not from death and destruction, but from the unprecedented sight of a Vorthak assassin lying peacefully on the floor, while a human girl scratched behind its antenna-like sensors. The creature was making a sound none of them had ever heard before, a deep, contented purr. How? Was all Security Chief Voss could manage. Riza looked up with a grin that had already become legendary among the student body. Simple, humans are Deathworlders, right? We're supposed to be the crazy ones who laugh in the face of danger. But sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is show a little kindness to something everyone else fears. The Vorthak, who would eventually choose the name Guardian for itself, became the first of its kind to join the Galactic Academy as a student rather than a threat. Its presence revolutionized xenobiology studies and opened new frontiers in understanding extinct civilizations. But Professor Zektar never quite recovered from watching a human girl turn one of the galaxy's most feared predators into what could only be described as an oversized, deadly pet through nothing more than laughter and a shared nutrition bar. After all, humans were Deathworlders. But perhaps the most dangerous thing about them wasn't their ability to survive impossible odds. It was their inexplicable tendency to find family in the most unexpected places. Even when that family happened to be a 7-foot-tall bioweapon, with a heart that had been waiting 3 centuries for someone to see past the programming to the soul beneath.